Alright guys, here we're talking about Season 2, Episode 6 of Iron Fist. I do think it's finally taken a little bit of a turn. This episode was much better for me than past episodes.
Oh god, I'm so happy. I feel that way, and I also feel like I'm still skeptical as to why people think this is so good.
I do not think it could, even with this upswing, potentially beat any of the other series in quality.
That's what I'm gonna say.
We had between the tattoo artists.
Oh god, I'm so happy.
That was the best fight that we've had in Iron Fist.
I literally thought we were gonna have to fight. I thought this was gonna be an hour-long video, and I was gonna be like, "No, I like this one though. This is really good." And you're like, "No, it's the same as the other ones. It's just
still
sucks."
Not great.
I really enjoyed it.
That fight was really good. There was some Walker stuff that I was like, okay, I don't hate her as much as I did. But as the episode ended, I was like,
I hate her
back
again.
to shit.
I literally have the exact same opinion. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
So
okay. Let's follow through the plot line. Misty's interrogating Joy and Walker. It's cutting back and forth. It's vaguely artistic.
I couldn't exactly remember where the last episode ended. Where I was like, wait a minute, they have Joy in custody?
Yeah, they're all in the apartment or something. Yeah. I don't know. But it starts off right. They're talking. Misty's interrogating them. You're learning all the backstory. Everything's getting filled out.
Yeah.
Walker's just telling everyone about her crippling mental disease. It's fine. But then we split up. Gloriously, we split up.
Yeah.
And Misty and Colleen are like out doing stuff. Misty's totally training Detective Colleen to like start doing life or whatever, as like she's like, "You're pretty good at this. You could be whatever." And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, that's happening. And where does that lead us to? That kung fu fight that you're talking about.
Yeah.
They're investigating this whole thing. What?
So like, not to take anything, but like their whole conversations always feel really fake when they're just talking.
I know.
They have a talk about snack foods in this one where I'm like, God, could you be more scripted with your goddamn snack conversations?
You hate them.
They just something about the two of them when they
hate
talk.
Women.
It just feels very scripted.
I know. Danny's feels the worst of all.
Oh, Danny is a script.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
And it's clearly
the pain was unimaginable.
It's clearly a choice that the actor and like the team are all making.
Yeah.
And I think it's really wrong. I think it's really bad. And I think we've talked about that before, but I just whenever he's talking, I'm just like, "Oh no. What is happening?"
Cuz it's meant to come across as a man who's like so straightforward and doesn't have these like thoughts like a normal man has and just says what he's feeling and is I'm centered and whatever, but it doesn't come across that way. He's not robotic enough for that type of a thing to be happening, but he thinks he is,
and he's not fish out of watery enough
at all.
It's not really selling it on either of those fronts. Yeah, because he should either be like, yeah, I know all about that, but I don't care. I've seen the fiery dragons of death in like a fantasy land, and like, none of this interests me. Or he should be like, oh, I'm sorry again. I don't know about these customs.
Yeah.
So you watch. Is this considered entertaining? Like, why do we do this? Like, he should be like, I don't know what's going on, or neither of those things, and just drop whatever's happening now.
Yeah, I think like he shouldn't be. He's not 100% fish out of water because he did spend his first like 10 years.
Yeah, he was 8 or 10 or whatever.
So he knows things.
Sure.
But he should have more of a problem with actual communication with people, because I imagine they weren't doing the communication the same way there. He should have a problem with like connecting with someone on an emotional level. He should have issues like that. He should be an awkward nerd.
Vague PTSD from his history.
Something.
Of being whatever. I don't know. We're not here to fix all these problems, but there's definitely a problem there. Well, there's not a problem with this fight scene.
No, the fight scene was good. So, Misty's I had some issues with, but I really liked Colleen's.
I really enjoy mugging during a fight scene. I love the faces when like someone gets hit and they like slowly turn their head back, and it reminds me of old like Jackie Chan or Steven Seagal or Van Damme when like the bad guy cracks his neck and like flexes, and then they go
when
to
you
like,
hit him and he just turns his face back and smile like, oh no, that was my best move. It did nothing.
It's awesome, and I think that we're finally. I don't know how it took this long, but we're finally, because like I liked that little kitchen fight, but that was more of a spat compared to this. This was a full-on, a lot of camera movement, a lot of different moves and stuff, weapons and de-weaponing.
A fight has a lot more potential for being good when you don't have the Iron Fist there, I think, because the fight's just like, I punch the ground, it's over. Like that's the end-all be-all.
Yeah.
So, like, it was nice to have her alone. I did think the whole time, like, if you would have just brought your sword, you could have really knocked this out of the park, but whatever.
She hung her sword up, but she'll be taking it down, I assume, as some sort of gesture of, like, oh, it's on now. I have to go save Danny and use this sword. The reason that they're there
is to get the...
They're investigating this whole thing, and the premise is basically like we have to do the ritual in reverse. Hey, could you guys do this in reverse to give him back the power?
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm kind of like, oh no, is that how this is gonna work?
Definitely.
But we had talked last time about like, oh, he said like the connection went dark. So I'm like, oh, you're gonna like find the connection yourself. You're gonna like. It's gonna be this awesome, like, oh, the power was within you all along. And then like they're both.
I still
gonna have
think
the
that
fist.
may happen.
Yes.
My theory is they're gonna get all the things together for what will have to be the transformation thing, and something's gonna go wrong, or Davos smashes the bowl, or some bullshit happens. Already, things are starting to go awry.
Right.
We're on were there 10 episodes or 12 episodes?
There's only 10, I believe.
So yeah, we're more than halfway through. And we only have so much time to collect and perform, and to still have a final whatever. Unless the very last scene of the last episode is, "Oh, I'm back," which would be very anticlimactic.
I wonder where we go from here. Let's take a step back.
Sure.
Walker picked her handcuffs. She's like, you could hire me, though. So Joy kind of hires her, but then Danny and, like, Ward kind of hire her.
Yeah.
So it's this weird thing where it's like, well, it was just a job. No hard feelings, I assume. And he's like, they almost cut my finger off. Like, what are you doing? This is, like, horrible.
Well,
thing.
that wasn't the person directly related to her.
No,
thing,
but
yes.
it was a direct result of, like, like where she left him and, like, what happened or whatever. It, like, flashes in my head whenever someone's like, I'm glad that's over. And it's like, wait, no, that was really bad. Oh, man, dude. So she confirms all these different things. Dialogue happens. She had a dossier on Ward. That's how Joy knew about his NA stuff or whatever. They talk, Joy and him have some conversations about all that stuff. I still don't buy this. I still hate this. But she actually says, well, I did this to Danny because I couldn't bear to do it to you, which I guess explains part of what's happening.
Well, no, she said, I didn't do it to you because you're going to tear your own self down.
Well, she said she literally says the line, "I did it to Danny because I couldn't bear to do it to you." Yeah.
The following line is, "I knew you would train wreck yourself" or something.
Yes, but okay. I don't know if that's meant to undo the first line or if she's
to me
saying,
it did.
Okay, I don't know.
To me, it's like, oh, I said this thing, blah blah blah. Then it's like, you know what, fuck you, and then tells him the real thing.
Oh, okay. I did not take it that way, but either way, it kind of, I guess, starts to explain what's happening or something like that.
I don't think so. I think it made me have more questions, and I don't like a lot of this where it just feels like it's happening because you needed something to happen.
You needed like
and that's
villain.
A big error.
Yes.
Because you could have made a lot of these things happen normally. Like Davos could have just been like, okay, I need this. You don't have to include Joy in that. He could have just done this. Those tattoo people could have been Kung Lung friends of his.
He could have lied to Joy to get her involvement in some way. It could have been something. Had we played up the angle that they were trying to play up, where he's like addicted to the fist or whatever, Joy could have thought that she was helping him or something like that, right? And you don't really. She could have wanted to leave without having all these weird. I don't know why I don't read it the same way as they want me to, but all these, they seem weird to me, overdone feelings of like, I know there was some deception and all that father stuff, but in this episode, Ward literally says, no, he was like abusive. I was like faking that I got injured and other stuff, and she was like, you know what, fuck you though still, which I feel like is way too much. I don't get it, which might be ignorance on my part.
This guy's been your ally for like 30-something years, and like, you're like, you know what, no, you're really not my ally. Like see him in a different light when he's seems to be much better of a guy than you would even have thought based on the first seasons when you actually liked him. So I don't understand her thought process, but sometimes you're not supposed to.
Sometimes when this happens, though, I feel like, oh, this is like a human thing, and I don't get it because I'm not like human enough to understand emotions or something like that.
No, it's stupid.
But if you don't get it either, I feel like maybe it's just not being done.
It's not a thing to get. It's just a device to have a plot, and that plot is not even amazing. So I don't know why you would do a thing like this.
And it seems like a strange thing to be on a season of a show that everyone says is much better than the first season of the show. So
it still might be better than the first season. The first season, I didn't like very much.
Okay, I didn't like it very much either. But people were saying like, "Oh man, you turned it around."
The issue I had was someone's statement was, "You took one of your worst properties and made it into one of your best," and I'm like, that hasn't happened at all yet. Let's see where this is going.
We have 4 more episodes. It could still happen.
I don't even know if that's possible, because even just by if you made the single best episode of any of the Marvel things, period, it wouldn't make your season the best.
People, I think, have a warped view where if it ends well,
and
they
it's positive,
say
and they
the whole thing was good. Yeah, which is, I guess, fair, because that's how people think. But it would be hard for me to pitch someone, oh, yeah, the first 6 episodes are hit or miss, mostly miss, but watch it because it picks up at the end, right? I'd be like, can you edit something and put it on YouTube for me of just the good parts? So, like, you got it. 3 hours long. The other thing that's going on, Danny and Walker go off. That's like the plan.
So Danny and Walker, they're going off to get Davos. She brings along her little, I don't know what you call it, like hand lasso maneuver weapon.
So I don't hate this. She says, I've been like training and like and like studying stuff to take you down, and I did. So like I can probably just do it again with him. I have the injections and all the maneuvers, and he doesn't know what the fuck I'm doing. This is gonna be great, or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
No, that all worked on paper for me. I don't see why you couldn't have brought 2 of those shots, for safety.
That bothered me so much. Everyone should have 20 of those shots.
Yeah, because very easily a needle can get broken, and then it's useless.
Well, and there's a whole thing of, like, give it to me, let me do it. And she's like, no, you're in no shape to do that. I have to do it and all this stuff. And you're like, oh, my God. She had, like, 20 of them. Just everyone should have 1 in each boot. You should have 1 here, 1 taped to your chest. Like, everyone should have 1.
Agreed.
Yes.
So they do their little attack, and ultimately it works. We learned that Davos can use both hands.
I fucking freaked out. This and the Crane sisters fight to me. I love that so much. I love that he's like, oh no, you've got me. Check this out. And fucking double fists. I wrote down in all caps. I said out loud, oh shit. Like yes. So I was so happy.
They managed to still knock him out.
Eventually, yeah, but he fucking takes out.
He punches Danny with a red fist to the leg. Now that would not just break your leg.
I know.
I can take it maybe as the drugs were already taking effect and it weakened him somewhat. Yeah. But if you're punching through brick walls and like his leg should explode like a piñata.
That should probably just kill you if you get hit anywhere with the fist.
Well,
because of like the force involved or whatever. No, I know, but it's still great that his leg's broken or whatever and he's totally messed up now. You can justify it too if you perhaps later it turns out the power was in him all along and he can't awaken the fist, but he is still super or something like that. But that's a very vague thing, I know. But yes, I like that Davos tries to like recruit Danny for some reason, which makes no sense.
I like how he says it too. He's like, what does he say? Something like, "You can grovel at my feet for a few years, and when you become ready,"
something along those lines. Yeah, I know. But it's great. I love that he has both fists. We called that too. That's like perfect. That he's like, I think I said something like, one of his feet can fist. He's like so good at this or whatever. This is an old, like, it's like a trope everywhere, but particularly in like anime, you'll often have someone who's like the good guy and the bad guy mirror each other, but the good guy has some like crazy restrictions. Not just that he doesn't want to hurt people or that he's trying to be good. He also like he'll have 7 power crystals, but like the bad guy has 8 power crystals, right? Or like they're robots and like he has a crystal that changes him, but it only lasts for 30 minutes, or he only has this because it's like assisted or like reconstructed.
But the bad guys last forever.
The bad guy can just do it, and he has like 2 swords or whatever. There's always this weird thing where it's like a physical representation of the power levels being different, which is why I want Danny to get the fist back without having Davos lose it, because I want this weird thing where he only has 1, but he has to fight him, who has 2, and then he beats him anyway because he's a hero and it's like good or whatever.
We'll see.
That would be like maybe the cliche thing to do, but if you don't want to do that, you have to flip it and do something different or better or something like that. Because they can't cut Davos's tattoo off and like dry it and make ink and then transfer it, right? That can't happen.
I think they should just kill him and you'll see it go, oh, and just like come into him like
a force ghost just happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but they would either need to say like there's still some ink left or like there's another corpse with another old tattoo. Like, how are you going to do this? Danny already has the tattoo. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Does he just have to grab his face and just say, give it to me?
I don't know. It's cheesy and it's going to go somewhere. Speaking of cheesy, so like rain starts to burst in, and the ambulance that Walker calls shows up, and the combination of the lights and the water trigger her to go back to Mary.
We find out earlier that her triggers are like everything, And he basically says, "Isn't that like everything?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's tough," or something like that.
It's being calm, it's being cold, it's running water, and it's flashing lights.
It's whooshing and blinking and all the things that trigger everything.
A lot of that makes sense as why she wants to move to Arizona in the middle of nowhere, because it doesn't rain there very often. If she's in the middle of nowhere, there's no strobe lights happening.
Yes.
She'd probably be calm most of the time, though, unless she's like stabbing herself with adrenaline.
Yeah, I don't know about the calm
She's
thing
hunting
exactly.
boar with her bare hands to keep up her heart rate.
It can be done.
Certainly.
No, yeah, it was super. Because what I hate is that they passed up all those obvious chances to play off of this multiple personality thing, and they talked about it so much that to have it happen now just feels so. And like, she's wearing weird glasses and has the headphones in, and like, there's that, it all adds up, but it's not. I don't feel like this is great. And
I thought knowing that getting her aggravated would bring back Walker. He was going to like throw something, like hit her with a brick or something as she was walking away, and it would trigger her back. Well,
that's how next episode might begin or whatever. But they have her essentially like betray him. He says something about like taking you to Arizona or whatever, and then she goes, "Uh-oh, the other personality's trying to like do me in. I'm gonna have to do something," and like she like goes away. It's super weird. Mary was so into them and so down with that I feel like that's a weird turn, because she like just came back. For her, it's been like a few seconds, and she was either at their apartment or looking at pictures or whatever, and now suddenly she's here basically, and Danny's hurt, and she could help him and doesn't. Yeah. Seems so weird.
No, it is weird. Also, so like Davos is just knocked out. He's just in that building. I don't know if the ambulance people see him, if they're going to take him with them too, if he's just going to be in this warehouse, how long it is until he wakes up. But he's not going to be happy, and you're not going to be able to get him again.
No, if he just wakes up, that's going to be so bad. That's really not good to do. I don't know.
They're in his house, though, so potentially he wakes up with his one-eyed friend just coming in and getting him.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about that. This lackey.
Yeah, his lackey is that's the only word, is lackey.
I had a great comparison that I forget the movie or like the name of it or something like that. Man, but it's essentially like the Dracula and Renfield thing.
Yeah.
It's this weird vibe of him like...
Where he's not like paid, he's just not being killed, and that's why he's working for him. And he's taking them on a list of people to murder each day. He does inquire about those street kids, which I'm sure in like the next 2 episodes he will be training them to be his disciples or something.
Oh, I hope not. That's awful.
You got to think of what other WB11 kind of stupid bullshit could happen.
Oh no, he will. That sucks. He asked them about them, and I thought the tension was going to be he's going to want to go kill those people or something like that, and then Colleen will not like that because they've had the moments with BB and all that stuff.
But again, I think it's going to be him starting his own hand.
He's going to start. He's going to be like, menthols, regulars, everything's legal here. Let's have fun and be on the other side. He's going to realize he needs backup now that he got taken and injected, and he's going to say, I have to surround myself with more lackeys, some of whom have 2 eyes. He's going to be all about that. Oh no, and it's going to be this stupid Colleen and BB like Ray and Kylo, or it's like, don't do this, you don't want to do this, and BB's going to be like, you know what, you're right, I won't do this. Oh no, Stefan, you've ruined my day.
That's what's going to happen. That was kind of my last thoughts on like what is happening in this world, what else could hurt me.
Right, okay. What else could hurt me personally? Yeah, I'm interested to see how the power of the fist gets like transferred or like awakened or whatever's going to happen there.
If it does.
But, well, fucking better. Otherwise, what are we doing?
Again, there's still the thought I'm having where they're going to try, fail, he'll get it back anyway in a time of need, and that way you can have Davos who has it and he still has it.
Yeah. No, that's fine too. I just don't like the idea of Davos being essentially defeated by the ritual in reverse or whatever. That's seems dumb to me.
No, that is dumb.
You could do it in a. Had you set other things up, you could have done it in a way where everyone has to come together, and like Joy has to play her part, Ward can bring Cronuts, and then Walker has to do. But we've already kind of blown our. It's like when they killed Superman and brought him back immediately. I'm like, well, you could have done this great thing with his death now, but now you've already drugged Davos and you've already had Walker flake out. All that stuff has already happened. So you like
not to say it can't happen again.
I was just gonna say I wasn't sure how to word it, but I was gonna say the best/worst thing you could do is just try to do it again. But that doesn't make any sense. That's the worst possible thing. I would never say, wow, guys, really turned things around and made one of your worst properties your best. If that happens,
Davos in this episode did confirm he's a vegan once again after the meatballs of like 2 episodes ago.
Okay. I like that you're
just to
keeping
confirm.
a keen eye.
Because I was like, I'm pretty sure he said he was a vegan earlier on, and then he had sex, so maybe it broke all his whatevers. But I'm like, nope, he's back on the vegan tip.
Yeah, what's her name says like, well, he doesn't eat meat, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't fuck or whatever. So I guess that night he was like, I'm doing all these things, and that's was meant to be more of his like, I've made sacrifices, you don't understand or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're not really hamming that up or something. No, I liked some of the interactions with him and his lackey, kind of rolling his eye and being like, "Uh-oh, like you're weird," and he's saying weird stuff to him and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I can't wait to keep this train going and figure out where it stops next.
All right, guys, that's what happened in this episode. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.